to the Fourth and Long Fantasy Football Show.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fourth and Long Fantasy Football Show. My name is Justin. Episode 53 today. Week 4 is come and gone, and we're on to Week 5. On today's episode, I'll give you a few of my Week 4 reactions, go over my waiver wire targets, and my starts of the week for Week 5. As a reminder, I'll be releasing my weekly episodes throughout the season on Thursday mornings. Get you prepared with my weekly recaps, waiver wire ads, and starts of the week. Your time is valuable, so let's get to it.
On today's show...
All right, so for today's show, I'll start by giving you a couple quick reactions to Week 4. The first being James Robinson RB1. James Robinson has firmly established himself as a running back 1 in fantasy football. After some head-scratching usage in Week 1, Robinson has entrenched himself as one of the rare bell cow backs in the NFL. He played 95% of the snaps in Week 4 against the Bengals and is now playing over 70% of the running back snaps on the season. On top of that, Trevor Lawrence has shown some pretty good signs of improvement, and the run option offense they employed last week seemed to really kickstart this offense. The ride has been a bit up and down for James Robinson owners, from the NFL draft to preseason to Week 1 to now, but he feels about as safe as anyone at the running back position as we head into Week 5. I'll have him in my top 12 running backs until further notice. Next, the Philadelphia Eagles backfield. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit concerned about Miles Sanders. Now, I don't own Miles Sanders anywhere this season, and it's because of the many reasons I outlined in the offseason. New coaching staff, injury concerns, the history of not being able to really separate himself in running back by committees. Miles Sanders only has 15 combined touches the last 2 weeks. The Eagles' defense looks like a mess, and it's resulted in Jalen Hurts hawking the ball around to catch up. Kenneth Gainwell, the rookie, has also established himself as the preferred 2-minute and pass-catching back. I just can't put Miles Sanders in the RB2 conversation any longer. He's more of a flex for me. And then finally, is it time to worry about rookie tight end Kyle Pitts? I talked about my concerns with the Falcons' offense last week, and this week they looked okay. For those that may have invested in the rookie tight end Kyle Pitts, the production just hasn't quite been there yet. The data, however, is encouraging. Pitts is playing a lot. He saw 9 targets this past week, and he's lining up all over the field. And in terms of opportunity share at the tight end position, he's actually top 5 at the position. And I expect some regression here in the very near future. Going up against the Jets defense in Week 5 in London, I expect Kyle Pitts to deliver on his lofty draft day price, and he should find the end zone for his first career NFL touchdown. If you can buy low on Kyle Pitts, I would. All right, let's get into my waiver wire ads for the week for Week 5. But before I get there, my ads for last week included Chuba Hubbard, Christian Kirk, and Jeff Wilson Jr. I'm going to get my list for Week 5 started with a running back, and it's going to be Chicago Bears running back Damien Williams. Now, the knee injury to David Montgomery vaults Damien Williams into the number 1 spot in my waiver wire rankings for Week 5. News broke on Tuesday morning that David Montgomery is going to miss 4 to 5 weeks with a knee hyperextension injury, so it's not season-ending. But I could see the Bears holding out Montgomery until Week 11 when they return from their bye week in Week 10, and really giving him all the time he needs to get to be 100%. Now, what's certain about this situation is that Damien Williams is going to be the clear beneficiary of this injury. He should see the majority of snaps in this Bears backfield. With how tough the running back landscape is, Damien Williams has to be a priority, especially if you're a Montgomery owner. You should be getting a starting running back for the next 5 games. And he'll be a fine running back too until Montgomery makes his way back. The next player on my waiver wire list for Week 5 is going to be a quarterback, and it's going to be San Francisco 49ers quarterback Trey Lance. Now, Trey Lance came in for the injured Jimmy G in Week 4, and he played the second half and actually ended up as a quarterback 1 in only 30 minutes of action. We talked this offseason about the upside that Trey Lance offers in this 49ers offense, and he showed exactly that in Week 4. The rushing floor, along with the arm talent, makes him a guy that should be prioritized as a waiver wire ad in Week 5. I will say, though, tread carefully here, right? Because it's entirely possible this may be a 1-week thing. The 49ers are on bye Week 6, and if Lance struggles in Week 5, we could see Jimmy G when they return from their bye in Week 7. The lotto ticket, though, here could pay off, and if I'm a team that doesn't have one of the clear elite quarterback ones like Mahomes, Murray, Allen, I'm adding Trey Lance wherever I can. The last player on my waiver wire list for Week 5 is going to be a tight end, and it's going to be Buffalo Bills tight end Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is quickly becoming Josh Allen's favorite red zone target for this high-powered Buffalo Bills offense. Knox's 4 touchdown catches are the second most in the NFL, and he's actually tied for most among tight ends with Bucks' Rob Gronkowski. He's actually tied with fellow wide receiver mates Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley for the most red zone targets on his team, and he actually leads the team in red zone receiving yards with 29. With as barren as the tight end landscape is, Dawson Knox could be quickly establishing himself as this year's Robert Tonyan. I'm adding him wherever I can. Let me get into my starts of the week for week 5, but before I get there, last week I had quarterback Joe Burrow, running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and wide receiver Stephon Diggs. All performed very well in week 4. Let's keep it going here for week 5. I'm going to start this list off with a quarterback, and it's going to be Minnesota Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. Now, it was tough sledding for Kirk Cousins in the Vikings offense against the Browns defense in week 4. The Vikings had a tough time holding off the Browns pass rush and really could do nothing on the ground with a banged up Dalvin Cook. I expect much better results in week 5 against the Detroit Lions at home. The Lions defense has been a joke thus far this season, and Kirk Cousins and the entire Vikings offense should rebound very nicely. He's square in the back-end quarterback 1 discussion for week 5. Next, I'm going to go with a running back, and it's going to be New England Patriots running back Damien Harris. Now, the last 2 weeks have been very ugly for the Patriots rushing game, but let's put that into perspective, right? Put it into context here. They went up against the Saints' stout defense in week 3, and then had the Buccaneers in their stonewall defensive front in week 4. Week 5 brings a much more favorable matchup for Damien Harris and the Pats as they take on the Houston Texans. And I'm expecting a stat line similar to what we saw in week 1 from Harris. 20 rushing attempts, 100 yards, and a score. I'm totally on board with that. And Damien Harris is an excellent buy low target for those teams who want to capitalize on 2 down weeks for the Patriots lead back. And then my last start of the week for week 5 is going to be a wide receiver, and it's going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin. I'm throwing out this past week against the Patriots in the rain in a tough environment on Sunday night. Chris Godwin has been relatively consistent this season for the Bucs. And week 5 brings a matchup against the Miami Dolphins. I don't expect Gronk back this week, and I expect Xavier Howard, the shutdown corner for the Dolphins, to really be all over Mike Evans this week, which should leave Godwin as one of the main beneficiaries. I'm starting Chris Godwin as a wide receiver 1 in week 5. So that'll do it. Please remember to comment and like on this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. This has been the 4th and Long Fantasy Football Show. Good luck in week 5, everybody. See you next week.
Royalty-free music courtesy of Ben Sound. The views and opinions expressed on today's episode are that of the 4th and Long Fantasy Football Show. Remember to like and subscribe.